to another episode of Two Fat Guys and One Dream. Just one dream. Well, it's kind of two dreams. But welcome everybody back. I'm, of course, your host with the most, Truman Steam Machine Steen. As always, I'm joined by my father, Scott Steen. Scott, how are you doing?
I'm well, Truman. How are you? How was Chicago?
Chicago was good. Got a good week all around for me. I had, Chicago wasn't too bad. Had a lot of fun. Accidentally ate too big of a beef than I wanted to. It'd be good for Grub Buds, not great for this show. I got the big beef at, we went to Portillo's. I went to just get the Italian beef, and we ordered, without looking, I just get the beef sandwich normally, and we just ordered the number one combo, thinking that's what it was, and apparently that was the big beef. So I had to cut off about 2 to 3 inches of my sandwich and give it to somebody else. So I had a normal beef again.
You order it wet?
Dipped.
Dipped?
Go
all
dipped.
That?
Oh, yeah. Dipped. I go hot.
You don't go the full wet, huh?
No, I go full wet. I mean, it's pretty wet. It's pretty sloppy.
Okay.
I like the main reason I like cut off half that sandwich. I had to cut that because I had the big beef and I was like, I could eat this, and I cut it in half. I didn't cut it in half at first. I went to go pick it up, and literally the bread's just falling apart on the corners. I can't even get my hands under it. So I'm like, all right, okay. So I cut it in half so I can scoop it up. And then I was like, you know what? Let me give off more of this just because I don't need that much. But I get it. Yeah, Italian beef, dipped, with hot peppers and sweet peppers. So
the jardiniere.
Yeah, which is the sweet peppers. The hot peppers are just like jalapeno, like sliced long ways jalapenos.
There you go. All right. And do you know that you do the hunch? Where you hunch over the counter but your feet are back so you don't drip it on yourself?
I'm normally sitting down at a table. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I definitely lean forward.
Chicago beef hunch. So yeah, very good. Good to see you. Good you made it back. Big news for us, buddy. We are now the number 2 nutrition podcast in Burkina Faso.
Yes, big shout out all of our listeners in Burkina Faso over in West Africa. Number 2 nutrition podcast. I believe it was top 10 in the health and fitness lifestyle category.
Correct.
And top 200 podcasts. We're number 160, baby, in Burkina Faso. Big shout out all of our listeners in Burkina Faso. We appreciate you representing West Africa. And if there's anything I know about West African nutrition, it's that they're listening to these guys. These guys right here. Except for that other show that's number 1. But mostly us. That's all I know.
Shout out to all the Burkinabes. That's what residents are called, Burkinabes.
Well, we knew that, obviously. I mean, we're huge. I already knew that. You didn't need to tell me.
Burkina Faso, Truman, in English, land of honest men.
Oh, of course we're big over there, man.
Easy to see why we're popular there. And, of course, the national language of Burkina Faso, Truman, any idea?
It's West Africa, so it could be just French or something weird, right?
It absolutely is French. French is one of the official languages, along with Masi, Bisha, Diala, and Fulu.
So, I'm not going to lie to you. I think I try to learn French first. I think that's going to be my best shot.
So it's easy to see why we're big there.
Bonjour to Burkina Faso.
And a shout out to the rest of the world. Burkina Faso, you'll always be number 1 in our hearts. You'll be our first. But we'd like to see that trend in maybe Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
Algeria. So, we're going to conquer the continent of Africa first.
Yes.
And then we'll move on from there. So it's
in the world. Very World War II of us, yes.
We got a lot to talk about today. We've got another Mom's Minute. We've got the health check-in, of course. And Truman's going to wrap up his calorie counting fortnight and move on to the next diet. Once again, the big reveal. I do not know. Big reveal. As Truman being in Chicago, I didn't talk to him much. Truman, you look confused.
Because it's because we're recapping the first week of calorie counting.
Are we just midway?
Yeah,
we're just midway?
That's why I was like, I don't even know that there's another diet coming this week.
Okay.
So that's
all right. Well, all right. So much for that tease. We're not doing that'll be next week. So all right.
The suspense. We're leaving you in suspense. Yes.
All right, Burkundis. Next week we'll be revealing that new diet. Now
we're gonna drop to number 3 because they're like, the only reason I tune in is for the new one. I hate these midweek episodes.
People in Africa going, I can't believe these fuckers are trying to figure out ways to eat less food. That must be nice. So
All
Okay.
right. Let's get into
Uh,
personal health review, Scott, for the week.
Mhm.
I can start off. I had some good news. I finally broke under 260.
That's right. You hit the big one, buddy. You hit the big 6-0.
Yes, I
Nicely
had.
nicely done.
Oh, thank you. I kind of flirted with it. I sent you a photo. I didn't actually. I thought about posting on Twitter, having this long message. I didn't end up, but I last week when I ended up at 260 in the middle of the week or on Thursday night, like I worked out like before dinner and I hit like 259.5 on
Right.
for the episode 11 weight. I still had eat dinner. I slept, I ended up at 260.4. So this week, finally breaking through to 259.4. It's pretty nice. Means I'm down 1 pound this week. It's 1.23% for the week. Brings me to a total of 27.12% in 11 episodes. So I'm still ahead of my goal of 2%.
It's outstanding.
Yeah,
It's outstanding.
I'm
That's
happy.
very good.
Can't complain.
I had a little bit of a snapback week, bud. I wasn't completely unexpected. After I had a big week the week before, for the first time since we've been doing this, I gained weight. I gained what I gained 0.4. Is that right?
Point seven. Last week you were at
0.7.
309.4. This week you are at 310.1. It is a weight
Right.
change of 0.7. You're still at a total loss of 16.78%, which is still very good for 11 weeks. Still over your 1% goal, and
Right.
you only lost 0.5%. You only went back 0.53%.
So we'll knock that out this week. And yeah, my routine was kind of disrupted. I didn't get big walks in. And yeah, and we'll see how this week goes. I've had a good week, except for we went on Mother's Day, and I had my first soda in probably a month, maybe
Yeah, it tastes awful.
somewhere around maybe longer. Well, I'll tell you what, it was Mountain Dew out of the gun, so it wasn't great.
No, not a
Uh,
not a Mountain Dew out of the gun. Does it end up too syrupy for you? Because it's always a little
not
more
enough,
syrupy out of the gun.
not enough carbonation. Exactly right.
Mm,
Exactly right. Um, so yeah, but other than that, it was fine. I was able to bring my breakfast in within my usual parameters, so that part was okay.
gotcha.
So we'll see how that goes.
Well,
Didn't get any walking in, of course, being Mother's Day. We had other things going on. Now we've got cold, rainy weather, so
yeah.
it's a challenge to get steps in, and sometimes that is a challenge. But you got to make do, and I've been walking inside. So
Well,
anyway,
and again, it's not 1 pound or less than a pound even. It's
oh
still
yeah,
nothing, not a big deal. It's certainly something that you can bounce back from. I mean, and I would say that even as much as me losing a pound, I was like, yeah, let's go. But I got under 260. On Wednesday night or on Wednesday morning, right? So I weighed in at 258.5.
right.
So, but for those who know me, those who follow me on Twitter, at Steam Machine, always selfless plug there, or on Facebook or Snapchat or LinkedIn or anywhere you can see anything that I post. I did post that I passed my PE exam. I'm essentially a professional engineer in waiting now, where I just have to wait like a couple weeks and I need to put in my paperwork and then I'll be a professional engineer. So that was good. But getting those test results early Wednesday, I kind of celebrated a little bit Wednesday during the afternoon and Wednesday night. I had Hawaiian Bros at lunch, which honestly, looking back, I kind of regret going to Hawaiian Bros just because, I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. So I don't regret
Mhm.
it that much, but I wish I would have celebrated in just a little lesser of a way. I still got the small Hawaiian Bros, but man, Hawaiian Bros is just barely fits into mini diets. I mean, the small meal at Hawaiian Bros was 900 calories, right? So
Yeah, your mom and I went there about a year ago or so,
yeah,
and it was good. I like the chicken there. There's not as much for her. She just had to do the veggies because they don't have any seafood options. But I made the mistake of looking up the calorie information, and it's outrageous.
yeah, yeah,
Everything about it. It's why it's so good. I love the macaroni salad. That's killer. That's a shit ton of calories. Of course, rice is just dead. Rice is dead to me.
yeah.
So it
Especially
is
white rice like that. Yeah,
just absolutely no nutritional value whatsoever. So
no.
yeah,
But
Hawaiian Bros is off my list. I cannot do it, and I don't love it enough where I do it on a cheat day. So
yeah,
it's
right.
just
And
a
so
lot.
we did Hawaiian. I did Hawaiian Bros for lunch, and then we ended up going to Texas Roadhouse for dinner, which was great. But for me, as somebody who loves steak, you guys don't really eat that much red meat anymore. It was a bit of a selfish pick on my part, I will say. But so
Oh.
with that, I did all that stuff. I also worked out, and all of that to say that with calorie counting, I still ended up. I was like negative, like I was positive. I was over my calorie goal by like 400 or 500 calories that day. So it's not a mystery with calorie counting. It's not a mystery why you gain weight, why you don't gain weight. I still end up being down for the week. But, I went to Chicago. I had an up week. I know on Monday morning to this morning, I weighed in at like 263. But
Woo!
but getting back into my routine, getting back into with calorie counting also, as we stand right now, I'm at after my workout, I've eaten breakfast, lunch. After my workout, I'm at 259 right now. So I still have dinner. We have the podcast. We have Grub Buds to record tonight. So hopefully I end up right around the 260 by tomorrow morning. So I'll be right back in.
And don't confuse people with like what our reported weight is and what we're doing now, because it's 3 days after we weighed in. And
Friday morning is it. Yeah, sorry. It is a Monday afternoon, but just we sometimes let loose a little bit on the weekends, or it's harder. It's certainly harder. You're just not in your work routine. I don't get to bring my lunch. I don't get to pack a lunch on Saturday when I'm going out to the bar with my friends. It's more difficult. You face more challenges. It's also, I try to give a little bit of a rest. I don't work out as much on the weekends. So I'm always a little heavier on Monday, but we're reining it back in. And that's, overall, diets are hard because it is easy to get discouraged. But we've both, I feel, we both snapped back to places that we didn't want to be, but we reined it in. Monday afternoon here, we're both sitting, and I think we're both setting up well for the future of the week.
Yeah, I went to a friend's house for dinner Friday night, and it was relatively diet friendly. Had some really good stuff. They had like made some coconut shrimp, which I love, and I had one egg roll, but they had these meatballs from Schmecka's.
Oh yeah,
and man, I just lived on those. Those were just, man, so good, so good. I could have opened my gullet up like a cartoon character, like a cartoon stork or a pelican. Yeah, where you just and then just pour them in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was good. And then Mother's Day Sunday. So honestly, I'll be happy to break even. I'll be happy with a break even week.
Nothing wrong with break even week.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, and this is why we do it every week, because it's never going to be a straight line down. There's going to be little dips, and this is part of what we do and why we do it. You play. It's like playing poker. You're not going to win every hand. You're going to get involved in hands. You're going to lose money. Trick is to lose as little money as possible in hands that you do not win, and that's the way it is. When you have a bad week, try to minimize the damage and rake them up, pack your chips, move on with the next hand. That's all we can do. We're moving on with the next week. So,
I mean, weight loss very similar to gambling. If you're gonna, if you're gonna be successful at it, the successful ones, it is a grind, and they grind the 1%, they grind the 2%. They don't win $5 million at a time every single time. Right. They grind it out. Those professional poker players are winning 100,000, losing 10, losing 10, losing 10, winning 35, losing 10, losing. They're going up and down just a little, and that's probably even hyperbole about how much they're even going up or down. So, I mean, it is a grind it out. It is not, again, gambling. If you want to make a living at it, it won't be fun. Just for if you're ever having fun, you're probably not doing it for a living. You know what I'm saying? But
you ain't making any money. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And so, weight loss can still be fun. It's still nice to lose weight, but it is a grind at times, and you got to kind of embrace that grind to it. There's an aspect you can't get down on yourself too much. You got to just refocus and reapply, and here we are.
Embrace the grind. I like that.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. Ready for Mom's Minute?
Or I thought we'd talk about calorie counting first.
Oh, you want to talk about a little check-in, a little midway check-in?
Yeah, a little midway check-in. Do a little.
Okay.
Just a little
calorie count. All right. So, what are some of the big challenges?
I'll tell you what. I mean, I will say, the app super cool. I'm used to scanning the barcode, and that's been great. Obviously, I like scanning the barcode. It's easy when I go to Quick Trip and I get a Premier Protein or whatever, and so that's been great. What's even cooler about, I don't want to harsh too much on the app. Obviously, it's not. This isn't the MyFitnessPal diet. This is the calorie counting. But MyFitnessPal also has a scan your meal. I think there's times that when you're counting calories, you go, "How am I going to count hibachi dinner? I don't know how I'm going to even count this." They've got a scan your meal thing, and yet just like takes a photo, and you can, and it will tell you how much calories are in whatever it's seen on the table there. So, like I had it where it was like fried rice and then veggies with shrimp, and it was like shrimp stir fry and chicken fried rice, and I was like, close enough. I was, it at least puts you in a ballpark where you can go, okay, I think that's about where I am. And if you're totally lost, and I really appreciate that. So I've been using that. Struggles are, on days you fail, it's hard to want to put in calories. It's hard. We ran into that somewhat with, I mean, I didn't run into that, but obviously we talked about the Texas Roadhouse day. I didn't want to put in how much I had at dinner, but you have to, so that you're like, okay, you're like, that felt big, and then you're like, oh, it was big,
Right, and that was that's tough for me. I had a quarter of a roll, man. A quarter of a roll at Texas Roadhouse, and anybody that knows me, I love them rolls. They got the cinnamon butter and whatnot, but it had to be strong. Because I knew Mother's Day was coming.
Those rolls for sure.
Yeah. So I had a little smothered chicken with some onions and cheese.
It looked good,
and a salad and some chili, with no beans, which is how their chili comes because it's from Texas.
No beans in Texas chili?
Oh, no. My God.
I didn't know. Who am I?
No mustard in Chicago, no beans in Texas chili. Good Lord,
no ketchup in Chicago, Dad.
Or no ketchup, rather. Sorry. Yes, absolutely correct.
Of course, as somebody who's an avid fan of the Chicago Dogs in Kansas City, in Chicago, the independent league affiliate I think they're in the American League, or the American Association. Sorry, the same league that the Kansas City Monarchs are in. Chicago Dogs have two mascots, Dad. They have Big Squeeze, which is like a fluffy yellow mustard bottle.
Everybody loves him. Everybody loves Big Squeeze.
And then they have Ketchup, who is
just shit.
A trench coat wearing. He's wearing a mask. He's like a bandit. He chases kids around the stadium. It's the only mascot I've ever seen where they've got the good mascot and they've got a villain mascot at all times. It's not a special thing.
The anti-mascot.
Yes.
What he is.
Yeah, all their hashtags on social media are #NoKetchup. So it's a great little bit, but man, I feel bad. It's Ketchup the criminal. I feel bad for him,
No ketchup in Chicago and no beans in Texas, and for God's sakes, no fucking mayonnaise in your barbecue sauce outside the South. Stop doing that.
People put what?
White sauce. You never had white sauce like what is that? Big Bob Gibson's barbecue in Alabama?
No, man. What?
Oh, dude. Oh, white sauce. Look up white sauce on barbecue. It's nasty shit. It's a mayonnaise-based sauce.
Sometimes when I'm dipping my fries, I'll mix a little barbecue sauce and ranch, and that's not a bad mixture. But on actual ugh.
Look up Big Bob Gibson's white sauce, buddy. Not pretty.
I can't bring myself to. Well, I'll do it afterwards. I'm not going to do that on a health podcast.
People that love it, they love it, and those people are idiots.
Psychos. Psychos are what we called them.
They are.
All right.
Insane.
Let's move on to somebody who isn't a psycho. Scott, It is the return of Mom's Minute. We've got I think she's got a relevant topic for us. Yes, your wife. Yes, sorry. Yeah. But I think she's got a relevant topic for us this week. We're talking calorie counting, and she's talking nutrition labels. So I think it'll be very interesting here. Let me put it up for everybody. Let me give it so Scott can hear it. And yeah, well, here we go. Everybody enjoy a little Mom's Minute here.
Hi, everybody. It's the Mom Minute again. I'm back this time to talk about food labels. I know the guys are talking about foods that are perhaps sneaky and have information on the internet that conflicts with other information. It's hard to know what to do. But let's say you have a good food label in front of you or good nutritional information on the internet. Using an app like even MyFitnessPal's free version, a lot of times at least you can look it up. If I could have $1 for every item of food this formula I'm going to share has made me not eat, I truly would be rich. You have to pay attention in making your food count for the nutritional and energetic payoffs. And a great way to do that, and a lot of formulas that you'll come across refer to calorie density. Um, Making sure that the food that you eat is going to give you the right amount of energy, longer amounts of energy, be more sustainable, not cause you to crash, having a sugar crash or an energy crash. An easy way to do that is to make sure that you choose items that have lower density calories. Now, most people will say, "Ooh, you need high density foods." It's it's kind of backwards and it isn't intuitive, but actually what you're looking for are lower density foods like fruits and vegetables and low fat proteins that really rev up your metabolism. So here is a healthy trick to help you not choose those unhealthy foods. We're always going to try to compare apples to apples, so I want you to look at breaking it down to per ounce. Don't look at the serving that they want to give you or a portion or the package size. Let's think about per ounce. You're going to have to do some math. You have a calculator on your phone, I hope. So here's how it works. For every ounce of food, you want to make sure it's less than 3 grams of fat. You always want to make sure that your foods are less than 3 grams of saturated fat. That's the bad fat. Even though saturated, again, sounds good. All of this, a little tricky. Okay, less than 3 grams of fat. Your sugars need to be less than 5 grams per ounce. This is all per ounce. So it's easy to keep it in your head. And then the next thing is fiber. 1 gram minimum per ounce. It makes sure that you are eating foods that have that lower density in calories. And then the last thing is salt. That's the last pillar of all of this. I It's always needs to be less than 100 grams per ounce, but ideally you're looking at less than 34 grams of sodium per ounce. Back to a note on fats, just to help you to make some good choices. The healthiest fats are monounsaturated fats. That's avocados, olives, olive oil, and most nuts. And then you go to polyunsaturated fats, and you can find those in oily fishes like salmon, walnuts, a lot of seeds, sunflower, sesame, flax, pumpkin seeds. And all of those things just lead to better choices. Next time, I'll have part 2 of label reading for you. May your healthy journey be fun and delicious. Until then.
There you go. She 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 cut that down pretty good. She cut it down from like 7 minutes to 4 minutes. A lot of good information there, and you would be stunned at how many foods that will eliminate when you put those parameters into place.
I never heard the per ounce numbers. I thought it was very interesting. I think
Yeah.
that's absolutely a great. I think a lot of the times I think I'm with her where a lot of times I have no idea. I've never heard those per ounce numbers where I was like, I don't know what I should be aiming for. So I mean I think that's huge for macros. Absolutely.
And it also is important, and she said something at the front, but hugely important. Disregard what they call a serving size,
Absolutely.
and do it per ounce. And I think that, and with like a lot of bad things, chips, things, it's going to be per ounce.
Yeah.
But some things it will not be, and they get tricky. And a lot of times, like you talking about Quick Trip, you go to Quick Trip, you get like the big bag of chips. You look at the servings, 3.5 servings. Things like that. So you got to be careful.
Cognizant
Some
for
great,
sure.
some great ideas. My doctor said a very good goal to shoot for personally was to eat more fiber than sugar. So your
How keto
fibers,
of you, Dad? How very keto.
fiber should be somewhere in the 30 plus range, 30 to 35 normally. You should keep your sugar below that, and that is
Hmm.
a hell of a that's a hell of a challenge. I keep my sugar at 20 grams a day, and I'm able to meet that every day by not eating anything sweet and limiting tricky shit like ketchup, because barbecue sauce is another killer with sugar.
Yeah.
So you got to be a little cognizant of that as well. So
Ketchup is
there
basically
you
just
go.
pouring candy like on the amount of sugar that's. You'd be shocked by the amount of sugar that's in ketchup. That's the number one reason I would do no ketchup on hot dogs. That's why ketchup is a criminal. It's just because of the amount of sugar that's in ketchup when you're just
Yeah,
pouring it on things. Yeah.
mustard, mustard seed and ground mustard seed and water. That's it. A little vinegar
Zero
maybe.
calories. 0 calories if
Yep,
you look on the bottle. Absolutely.
absolutely right. So again, thanks to my wife, my lovely and talented wife, for sharing her nutritional information. We'll be back with part 2 next week of Mom's Minute. We'll talk a little bit more about those labels. And again, you and I yak for about an hour, and 4 minutes is what she does, and people learn way more in those 4
Absolutely.
minutes.
Yes. Those are the most informational 4 minutes. Informative. That's the word. Man, I could not find that word. Those are the most informative minutes of this 30 to 40 minute show that we're going to do today.
Yep, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So,
absolutely,
yeah,
shout out to Mom for coming on. And I'm excited for next week. I'm excited for people to learn more next week.
Yep, absolutely true. So there you go. What else? What else we got to talk about, buddy?
I think did we cover it all? Did we cover?
Wrap it up.
We covered personal health review. We did the diet recap. We did Mom's Minute. I don't. I guess we're just very streamlined today. We're very focused.
There you go. And I did want to give the official shout out. The weeks kind of run together here, obviously, with us recording show with 3 days ago results and everything. So I forgot that we hadn't given you official props for passing your test.
Oh, yes,
Congratulations. That was anytime you can pass an 8-hour exam, props to you, my friend. And I know you spend a lot of time studying, a lot of stress, and it's good to see it paid off. You don't have to go through it again. So congratulations on almost being an engineer now.
Yes, I do appreciate it. I'm happy to be finally be over that hump. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right, guys, keep at it. I guess that's the theme for today. Last week it was dancing on the desk and celebrating. Although Truman's celebrating this week with his under 260.
Yeah.
So that's actually a fine goal indeed. My goal is to be under 300 by the July 4th, and I'm right on track.
Yeah, you're absolutely still right on that goal.
Should be able to do that. So that's it for me, you guys. Stay focused and have some fun. We'll make it even though it is a grind, less you can make it seem like a grind, more success you're going to have. Incorporate healthy changes into your day-to-day life. Don't think of it as a diet. Don't think of it as being restrictive. Think of it as making changes, and in most cases, probably delicious changes. So,
yeah. I do want to give shout outs. Again, shout out our Twitter, Steam Machine, Steamroller. There's a organizational Twitter for this YouTube channel. YouTube.com/disasteropen, or Twitter.com/disasteropen, YouTube.com open disaster. I want to shout out people. We had 3 new subscribers this week. So, nope. Did I mute you? I think I muted myself to you, but not to the show. So, but we did gain 3 new subscribers this week. So I do appreciate, huge. It's 10%. It's 10%. I appreciate everybody for being here.
Long grind, buddy. It's a long grind.
Absolutely, and we are on that grind. We hit another
a week. That's great.
Hit another like 30 views on the episode. Again, that's the second or third 2 Fat Guys in a Dream that's had over 30 views. I really do appreciate everybody for tuning in. I know you're mostly my dad's friends, but that's great. I appreciate having you here. I appreciate being able to hit that like and subscribe and comment button. There is a Patreon to this. I don't post anything from this show onto the Patreon, but if you guys ever wanted to, if there's ever bonus content that you're like, I wish I saw more of this, let me know. I'm willing to do pretty much anything for onto that Patreon. If you guys wanted to see more, I'm not above putting whatever on there. So,
if you wondered what Truman thought of the latest seltzer drink, if you want in-depth analysis of the Kansas City draft and the all things Kansas City Chiefs, you can check out Tom. That's true. Of course, then it'll be hockey. A lot of interesting content if you go in for that sort of thing. If you want to see more of him, that's the place to be right there. Open Disaster Productions. Check out the YouTube channel as well. All right, bud. Have a great week. Let's focus up. You're back in town. The test is over. Mother's Day over. Time to get back to the grind, buddy.
I'm focused in. I'm back under my weight. I feel like we're setting up for a big week here. I feel like I'm hoping 3 or 4 pound week. I'm hoping for a big week. I'm saying big week. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I like the sound of that.
We appreciate everybody for being here. Again, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Big shout out, again, to everybody for the subscribers. And, of course, we appreciate all the dreamers, all the believers, and even the fat guys for showing up. We'll see you guys next week to kind of wrap up calorie counting and get you on to our next diet journey. But, yeah, see you guys.
Have a great week, everybody.